I think of all of the protections of the First Amendment, religious liberty might be the one that actually guarantees all the others. In my tradition, we often cite St. Paul, who said, "Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." We are believers, and I think that's going to be a powerful force in the world to come. Consider this: fairly soon, human cloning will be perfected. Psychologists will tell us that they can predict the criminal records of babies. Political scientists will say that they can predict your vote before it's cast. These kinds of mechanistic and deterministic views of human nature will ask fundamental questions about the value of individual human life and the meaning of citizenship. By contrast, believers believe that the universe is infused with a creative force and that individual lives are precious and that we are all children of God. And therefore we're endowed with unalienable rights and the ability to change our minds. This will be perhaps the only resistance to these deterministic forces. And so I think in the years to come, it isn't just a question of protecting religious communities. It's a question of how we help people exercise their freedom to believe and to act on those beliefs. I came to Washington to go to seminary because I thought this would be an exciting place to be. Probably the most life-changing thing for me has been my experience of diversity. I have been guided very much in my time as president at Wesley by 9/11. I entered the presidency right after 9/11. And I received a call from someone at the White House asking if we might help out in a crisis response afterwards. And in that response, that began an engagement on the part of this seminary in the deep questions of religious diversity. I remember an experience soon after that when a group from the CIA came over to visit with us because they had not been thinking about religion in their model for international stability and instability, and they thought that might be a mistake. What we found out is they had included religion, but they had included it in the same category as sports and fashion, as merely a cultural expression. And that put us on a journey with them and with many others in Washington to consider the role of faith and how faith affects public life. And I think of the many people I have come to know, both here in the United States and around the world, Muslims and Hindus, Christian liberals, Christian fundamentalists, Jews, Sikhs, atheists, and I have found that my dialogue with them about not only our shared values, but the way in which we are different has been extraordinarily useful to me in my own faith journey and to Wesley as we have built our programs of outreach.
We are so thankful for our religious and civil liberties specialists who are working with us to make sure that this great American experiment continues, where we live together in our differences. You too can become a constitutional and human rights specialist focusing on religious freedoms. Check out religiousfreedomcenter.org to learn more and to apply for graduate level courses in the First Amendment. Join us again next week for another episode of 5 Minutes of Religious Freedom.